Ladies and gentlemen, gamers of all ages, welcome to Tric Trac TV. Today we're going to be talking about this, the world of Smog at Her Majesty's service. I am joined by the author himself, Mr. Johan. How's it going?
Very, very well, thank you.
Nice to have you on board. Now this
pleasure.
is your first game?
It's the first game published, yes.
And it's a game by Not.
Yep.
It was financed on Kickstarter last year, if I'm not mistaken.
November.
Yep, it did pretty well for itself. It's for 2 to 4 players, about an hour long, 14 years and up, and is already available in stores.
Yeah, it came up in September, late September.
Late September,
Yep.
There we go then. So, Smog, some of you may have heard of Smog. It's a sort of gothic, steampunk Victorian world. It originally started out as a miniatures game, created by, and I can never remember his name.
Christophe Madura.
There you go.
Yep.
So a French gentleman. French gentleman invented an English world. There you go, that's a blow for us. But it's a very interesting world, very dark, very gothic, steampunk, dark magic, that kind of thing. For those of you who've known the miniatures game, which sadly doesn't exist anymore, you'll know what I'm talking about. And now we have this that's come along, and I believe there's another board game coming along next year, but that's nothing to do with this. What we have here is a kind of race commerce puzzle game.
That's it. That's the,
so to speak.
The 3 keywords.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a very tricky one to describe, but I think those kind of words kind of sum it up in the sense that this board is not actually fixed. Everything turns. So, you know, depending on what you're going to do, all the wheels are going to turn, and that's the puzzle element of the game, but also the commercial element of the game, but also the race element of the game. So it's, you know, it's a kind of a crystal mazy sort of thing. You may not get that reference, but a lot of English people will. So without further ado, how does it work?
Well, how does it work? So it's Queen Victoria's Jubilee, and on that occasion, she will summon the 4 the most famous clubs of gentlemen in London. And
The gentleman being her sort of secret agents kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And they will enter a maze that lies beneath, in the underground of London, a moving, shifting maze, in which the gentleman will have to gather 4 artifacts. Here on the board you have those cards. They have to gather the 4 artifacts, and they will also, in order to gain the race, the game, to fulfill their secret objectives. So each player will have a secret objective.
So they're slightly different.
Yep.
We'll get to the colours and what they mean in a minute.
And you also have a secret passage, a secret exit.
So this is where, once you've finished everything, this is where you have to leave the board.
You have to spend one more action to exit the maze.
There we go.
So 4 artifacts and a combination of ingredients to win.
Now this represents, like you say, it's kind of an underground maze, which is how they describe it in the game, but it represents the shadow market.
Yeah, the shadow market.
Because the background to this game is really well developed, the game actually having been around, the universe having been around for quite some time. And the shadow market is kind of like the English underworld of that age kind of thing. It's full of shady characters and dodgy dealers and all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
so, and the biggest one is...
Yeah, nice transition.
Dun, dun, dun.
Nice transition. It's the Shadow Master. It's
So it's this. I'm going to move this off the side so we can see him better. Ooh, there we go.
He's the guy
this dude
who rules.
I'll even zoom in for you. There we go. Look at that.
You can see. You were talking about Gothic.
Gothic steampunk.
Gothic steampunk.
There we go.
You can see on the miniatures that most of them are very ugly and quite of
Gothic-y, horror-y, Victorian-y,
characters.
So yeah, it definitely works well.
So the Shadow Master rules the shadow market. So you have during the race, during that game, you will have to compose with that character. You have to seduce him and work with him and his agents.
Because the Queen isn't the only one to have agents.
Sorry?
The Queen isn't the only one that can have agents.
Oh, of course. It's kind of he's the shadow counterpart of Queen.
That's a good way of putting it.
Queen Victoria. So how does that work? So all the players will start with their characters on the center of the board, and you will have 3 actions on your turn. We will play our 3 actions clockwise, and these actions are 3 actions, and you can choose to do whatever you want in the actions I will detail now. So you can move from one cog to another orthogonally. always.
Yep. Never diagonally.
Never. That's one action. If you happen to cross the fog while you're moving, you can see on some cogs you have the fog on the border. When you cross, when you find your way through the fog, you will have to pay the creatures that lurks in the fog to find your way back. So you have to pay them, giving them 1 coin or one of the resources you have on your personal board.
Right.
So moving is one action. You can also turn the cog you're on for one action, but always clockwise. For one action.
This is where things get tricky.
Yep.
So
that's the puzzly side of the game.
Yep, that's it.
Up, turn the cog clockwise once. It's one action. You can also buy or sell the resource on the cog that is facing you, and that's very. It's the trick of the game is very important. You have only access to the things that are facing you.
Yep. So on this cog here, for example,
Yep.
you have access to 1 blue, but I have access to 2 brown.
That's it.
But if you turn it, then you get the 2 brown and I have the red 3.
It changes everything for everyone on the board. So here you have the color and the price. This information give you, it tells you that you can buy for 1 the blue if you don't have the blue.
Now, what is the blue, the brown, the red?
We have titanium. Titanium is the black. Mana is the yellow. Ether is the blue, and blood is the red.
There we go. So these are the sort of secret ingredients you need to exchange to be able to get out of the shadow maze.
Absolutely.
Shadow market.
Shadow market.
Sorry.
Which is a maze.
The shadow maze market.
Yeah,
There
an
we go.
amazing maze. Okay. So, I can buy the blue for 1, or I can sell, which is a very bad bargain. I can sell the blue for 1 if I happen to have 1 blue. So, the price here is the selling and buying price.
Gotcha.
Okay. When you buy or when you sell on 1 cog, 2 things happen automatically. These are not actions. It's the effects of the buying or the selling. I will block with the hourglass token. I will block the resource I just bought. Okay, and I will turn clockwise the cog.
Okay.
And I have to do it.
Okay.
I have no choice. That's the consequence of my buying or my selling.
Gotcha.
Yep. So moving, turning the cog, buying or selling, and I can also remove this hourglass token. If the resource is blocked for me or for another player, when my turn comes, I can remove anywhere on the cog I'm located. I can remove one of the hourglasses. If I'm here, okay, I have access to that resource, but I can remove any of the hourglasses tokens on the cog.
So you could eventually buy that one, which would block that off.
Yep.
Would turn it.
Yep.
And then you'd have to unblock that one if you wanted to buy it again.
For one
at which
action.
point you'd buy it and then turn it again.
Yeah.
There we go. See, this is where it gets really tricky.
Yeah, because it's shifting.
The board is just always in movement.
Yep.
So, but you have to be on the cog to unlock something from it, right?
I always have to be on the cog to do anything.
Got it.
There is one exception. I will come to it right now. I can come to it. Yeah. On the center cog, on the center cog of the board, which is called the Esplanade, you can do 2 things. You can ask the queen for more money. At the beginning of the turn, every player gets 1 coin. That's the generosity of the queen to continue your mission. But if I'm the poorest, I can ask for the queen to give me 2 more coins.
Only if you're the poorest player.
If I'm the poorest, yeah.
Oh, okay.
If there is a tie, I will only get 1 coin.
Okay, and you have to be on the center tile
Yep.
and spend an action for
And
that.
that's an action, absolutely. I can do that once per turn, obviously. The other action I can perform on the center cog is to shift any of the cogs of the board, clockwise or anti-clockwise.
So you can do both directions from there.
Yeah, but it's the only time you can do that in the game.
Okay, gotcha.
And when you do that, you have one little gift. It's to draw a special card.
Which are sort of special abilities, right?
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken.
They're a bit chaotic.
So this is the French version of the game. So it's normal that you won't be able to read the cards, but this is Favour of the Queen, plus 2 sovereigns, which is 2 coins, I believe.
Yeah.
That's exactly the same card, so these obviously haven't been dealt up very well. Spectral quickness, I suppose. Spectral speed, plus 2 actions.
Yeah, spectral speed.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
The conditions to so these cards, you can activate your cards anytime during your turn. It's not an action. It's free. The only condition is to have the resource indicated at the bottom of the card.
Okay, not spend it.
Not
just
spend
have
it, just
okay,
have it.
Fair
That's
enough.
it. And depending on the power of the cards, it may need 1, 2, or 3 resources to be activated.
Ah, right. I see. Okay. So, oh, yeah, there we go. So that's got 2 of different colors. Oh, that's got 3 of different colors, etc., etc. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So the cards are quite powerful, but they will force you to gather some of the resources that may not be required for your objective.
Of course. Yes. The special one which allows you to actually get out of the maze. The maze. Sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's it for the basic rules. And now comes the Shadow Master system, because you will have to do with him. So on your board, you have the 4 resources here, and you have your little cards
These
to
are codes to keep track of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Simply put, little things here. Another one. Each of them a different color for each type of mana.
Yeah. On the upper left side of the board, you have your coins.
So you stock these.
Yeah, and you can shift it and put your coins anytime during your turn. It's not an action. You can do it secretly while everybody is looking elsewhere. You can put 1 or more coins on the Shadow Master figure.
On the right.
Yeah. At the end of the turn of every player, we will check who has put the more coins on the Shadow Master.
Gotcha.
And you will become the minion of the Shadow Master, which gives you some abilities and also has some consequences.
Makes sense.
It has downsides. The benefit for you is to have 4 actions instead of 3, which is great. You can also get the ability to move the agents.
Yes, we'll get to them in a minute.
Yeah, you have you have 6 figures, 6 agents in the box.
So they look just like the same sort of looking figures as the actual Queen's agents themselves. So that's one of them. I can't remember what he's called. This one in
English.
The Lost Child.
The Lost Boy.
A Lost Boy, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Which is very, you see, he's very cute.
The Grand Prophet, sort of like Snake.
He's the gatekeeper.
The gatekeeper, sorry, is it? Right, my bad. There we go. And there's a load of unsightly characters in there as well.
And these agents, you will take 4 of the 6 agents at the beginning of each game, and they will only be those 4 involved in that game.
Right.
You won't use the 2 remaining ones.
You draw them at random, I assume.
Yeah, randomly.
Okay.
Or you can choose to select them if you wish. Because some have positive effects, others are very, very
annoying.
Yep, pain in the ass. You can say.
Call it what it is.
Yeah.
Call it what it is. Right.
So the agents, they are. You can place them on the 4 corners of the board. These corners have no numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. So which means that we will put the agent number 1 will enter, then the agent number 2.
Gotcha.
You won't have more than 2 agents at a time on the game.
So I assume number 3 will replace number 1.
Yeah, that's it. So when a player buys or sells for the first time in the game, you place agent number 1 on the cog. When there is a second buying or selling, the second agent comes. It can be on the same cog. And that's it.
Right.
Only 2 maximum during the course of the game. And the effects of the agents will apply on the cog they're located. When you become the minion of the Shadow Master, means that you have a lot of money on your Shadow Master counter. You have the 4 actions, and you get to move the agents. How does that work? So you have, let's say that you have these 2 agents on the board. Before my turn, I can move them 1 cog.
Okay, each. Okay.
Absolutely.
And you ignore the clouds, I believe.
You ignore because it's like home for them, so they know their way into the fog. So, for example, here I have the gatekeeper. I can move it from 1 cog to another. I can push him even further, depending on the number of hourglass tokens on his starting cog. So if I have two hourglass on that cog, I can move freely the gatekeeper from one cog, and then I can remove one hourglass to move him further, and a second hourglass to move him even further.
Intriguing. Okay.
Yeah. So it's the only to remove the hourglasses. You can either spend an action to do it during your turn, or if you are the minion of the Shadow Master, you can use your special power to do so. And
got it. But that's only the tile that the cog that they start on.
Yeah.
Right. Got it.
That's it. And the Shadow Master is a very versatile master, and he won't stay on your side very long.
Very fickle.
Yeah. So at the beginning of each turn, as I said, you will receive one coin from the queen. Okay. But when you are the minion of the Shadow Master, your master will empty your pockets.
Makes sense.
So yeah, the coin of the queen won't come in your pocket. It will come in the pocket of your master.
Okay.
When you reach 5 coins on your master's, how do you say that?
In space.
Space on your master's
Pocket. We can call it a pocket. Pocket works. Pocket works.
You have to empty it. When you put the 5th coin, you have to empty it.
Right.
At the end of the turn, you will check who is the new minion. It can be you. If you refill the pocket of your master, and when the minion changes, well, then that's the moment when the agents will change on the board.
I see. So the first 2 come in for the first 2 purchases, and it cycles every time the Shadow Master changes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You will take, for example, you have agents 1 and 2 on the board. When the minion changes, you will remove the most ancient agent, and put the 3rd action on the cog he was placed.
Right. Okay.
Yep. And you
Makes sense.
You have all the rules.
And of course, each agent has a special effect. For example, I can't quite remember the gatekeeper.
He creates a vortex on the board, and
yes.
when you start your turn on his when you not necessarily start your turn, but
when you start your move.
You start your move on his cog. You can go wherever you want on any cog on the board.
So he's quite a beneficial one.
He's very beneficial.
Whereas I think the merchant is a beneficial one. I think the doctor.
The doctor
however,
is not
he's slightly worse.
Kind.
So the doctor is you can't buy or sell anything on his cog, which can spanner in the works for a lot of people, for a lot of plans even. Now, can they go on any cog? So can they come to the Esplanade? Can they come on these big ones?
Agents can go anywhere except on the Esplanade.
Right. Okay. They can't
stay on the Esplanade. They can't cross the Esplanade.
Right. Okay. So they can't go anywhere near it.
Forbidden.
Okay.
For them.
There we go then.
And that's it.
And that's it then. Yep. Okay. Now there is a first player token. I assume does that stay constant?
It's constant except when a minion of the Shadow Master appears. When anybody becomes the minion, he will become first player.
Ah, right.
Then the token will continue to move, but
gotcha.
You break the cycle.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right then. I think we've gone around everything at this point.
I think so.
As you can see, I think at this point you can understand why it's quite a hard game to describe, really. The sort of, well, what did we go for? Race, commerce, puzzle game. Because once everything gets going, I mean, we're going to play it coming up soon with 2 of us, but when there's 4 of you and everything's just turning permanently, it really is quite a puzzle. So, here we go. The World of Smog on Her Majesty's service. Game from Cool Mini or Not, written by this gentleman here. 2 to 4 players, 60 minutes, 14 years and up, sorry, because even children can go down into the underworld. And it's already out in stores, in all good gaming stores.
It is, yeah. And a big high five to my pals at Forge Next, who helped this game come up at Cool Mini.
There we go then.
Yep.
So, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for explaining the rules to us.
You're welcome.
We are going to be right back. We're going to delve into the shadow market. We're going to hash it out. We're going to see who is the best agent of the Queen. Obviously, I'm British, so bet on me. See you soon.